Hello, welcome in. This is Cleo, and I'm going to be looking into the ethers and seeing what the most important message is coming in from the divine realm. So I hope you're all doing really well. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for your lovely donations, subscriptions, and all your beautiful comments. Hope you're doing good. So I'm just going to jump right in and see what's coming out. I just had a memo that this is about your spiritual mission. Okay, and I'm getting carving a pathway. You're like hammering away at something or doing something that's quite hard. You know, it takes a lot of determination, but I feel like you're the first one doing it, or you're doing something with great gusto and a lot of strength. So I like hearing that. Let's have a look. What's coming out on the table? You could have connections to Ireland. I'm getting connections to Ireland maybe, or you could have an Irish spirit guide. Okay, something you're doing requires a lot of humor and a lot of strength at the same time. We've got the 8 of Swords and the 2 of Wands, which is called the 2 of Wires in this deck. So this could be something that's mentally taxing for you, something that really is playing on your mind, something you want to get finished, right? And it could feel like, you know, there are energies coming at you here. You know, maybe you're trying to spend time alone and get something done, and there are people trying to distract you, or people being nosy, or, you know, maybe you feel a little bit attacked somehow or misunderstood whilst you're trying to knuckle down and get something done. Agent of Zent, which is the Knight of Pentacles. So this is you being, you know, willing to do the slow and steady work. And, you know, maybe you have got a lot of demands on you socially, but it's like you just want to get on with your work here. You just want to be left alone. I'm hearing slow and steady wins the race here. You know, the Knight of Pentacles is already established somewhat because he is the Knight of earthly manifestation. So it could be that people don't understand why you're doing something else when they already see you as established, or they already think that you've got enough money, or, you know, that you should be comfortable where you are. But this is something that's come from above. This is something that only you will understand, because it's coming from your higher self, but it's also coming from the divine realm. Show me one more. You're saying no to a lot of offers, or this is the advice you're being given, to say no to a lot of offers, because, you know, this is like you want to fulfill a bigger and greater vision here with the 10 of Zent, 10 of Pentacles. So you're really close. I feel like no one else can see that you're actually manifesting your own dream reality here, and you'll do whatever it takes to bring it into the physical. So your consciousness is really kind of welded in. There's something about you not being able to shift from this mission, because you just have to do it. It's something that's part of you. It's something that you can't get off of your mind, and you're a lot closer than other people may think you are with this Knight of Pentacles, and you're not budging. I'm getting that you are not budging despite anyone else's lack of understanding, or, you know, you might feel like you haven't got much support, and it's hard, really, isn't it, to get people to support you when they don't really understand what the heck you're doing, or they want you to do other things with them. You know, it could feel like you've got a lot of family obligations here, but I see that what you're doing right now is going to benefit your family overall, you know, in terms of the long term. It's like you want to get something done that benefits your family spiritually, and, you know, for the long term, you want them to have long-term security, or this could be your own long-term security, but I don't think so, because the 10 of Pentacles is all about family and making sure everyone in your family is okay. So you may have to say no to a lot of things at the moment. And I know someone's going to be showing this video to one of their relatives or maybe their partner and being like, please understand, I'm doing this so we can all chill out later on. But if I stop now, I'm going to lose my progress. You know, you're going to lose everything you've already built up. And, you know, maybe money has been a concern to you in the past with the 5 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. I'm hearing you've got to be cruel to be kind. And right now it could feel like you're being cruel in the short term to give everyone the blessings they need in the long term. Emperor energy. So this is who you are, you know. And I feel like it's part of the way you love to give your family long-term prosperity, long-term abundance. And I feel like, you know, there are people in your family or people you're close to, you don't want them to have to worry about money. You don't want them to have to struggle. You don't want them to have to do jobs that they're not passionate about, or, you know, that they don't enjoy. So this is all about your relationships to you, although it might not seem like it to people at the moment. We've got the 2 of Cups on the bottom alongside the Emperor. So, you know, when you win, you bring everyone with you, is what I'm getting. And, you know, you're taking a chance on happiness here. I'm getting this you only live once kind of energy. Although what you're doing is expanding, you know, your non-physical, higher self, Akashic repertoire. You know, you want to get this done as young as possible, and you want to be able to sit pretty for the rest of your life is what I'm getting here. So, you know, it looks to me like this is a mission that it's gathering great momentum, okay? And I'm getting that, you know, you digging your heels in and doing this the way you've been doing it, you're garnering a lot of support from the spiritual realm. But what they are saying with this 10 of Pentacles is that the more people understand, they don't have to understand every detail of your personal spiritual pathway, your personal spiritual mission, because everything's spiritual, whether you consider yourself to be spiritual or not. Everything we do in this life is spiritual. They're saying they don't have to understand every detail of it to understand that this is your soul pulling you on down the road, and that it will have major benefits for everyone you love. You know, they're saying the more people who are on board with this, the more spiritual energy they can flow to you. So more of a team effort, not when it comes to them joining in and helping you with your work necessarily, although it could be that. They're saying the more people support you and just think, you know what, you're doing what you need to do for you, and I'm on board with that, the more energy they can flow in, because this is somewhat of a family event, or there's some sort of family connection here, or your family will be benefiting from this. This could be soul group, whoever you consider to be your tribe. They're definitely going to benefit from you completing this or fulfilling this or getting to a point with this where you feel happy and where you feel like you've achieved what your soul knows you have to achieve. So I do see you saying no to things that could distract you from all of this tenacious, it's like a grind, you know, but it's a passionate grind, and it's something that needs to be fulfilled. 8 of Pentacles, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. This is something, you know, you're getting good at, something you're repeating. 8 of Pentacles energy, so this is keeping on with the repetition. They keep giving me fortitude, fortified. You know, it's like you want to build a fortress for your family, a fortress for the ones you love, and a fortress for yourself in order to be able to kick back and relax later on. So you're definitely gaining skill here. And it's sort of like, you know, maybe people don't understand that, or they don't see how skilled you're becoming. But it's almost like people will see very soon. Yeah, 2 of Swords here. She's blindfolded. So it's almost like at the moment, the people who, you know, maybe you do deep down wish would support you more, it's like they're not seeing it through your eyes. They're not really empathizing with your positioning. Probably because they're in habits where they want you to be the person you were before, or they want you around more, or they want you to socialize more. There's no malevolence here. But I just feel like if they were on board with you and supporting you, being like, you know, if you've got to do this, then, you know, we give you our best wishes. We want you to know that we want you to win too. I feel like that would make you feel a lot better. I don't feel like you want to be in a position where people don't support you and then all of a sudden they've got evidence and then they decide to support you, you know, because it's sort of like the principle of the thing. It's like, come on, just because you don't understand exactly what I'm doing, this is my life, and God or spirit is calling you into this positioning. So I do feel like, you know, you would prefer that people just blindly support you because they trust your judgment, rather than later on when the loot comes in, when the money comes in, when the evidence is right on the table. You know, it's easy to support people when the evidence is right in front of you. But I feel like you want people to support you now, when it's not so easy to see what you're doing, and when it's not so easy to understand you. It's like, trust me. Are you on my team or not? Are you a member of my tribe or not? So, you know, you can do this alone, and you can sort of get on with the hard work. You know, on this 10 of Wires, 10 of Wands card, we see you, you know, shouldering this responsibility. You're carrying this big boulder up this building, and it could feel like that for you at times, when I feel like if people stop nagging you, if people just said, you know what, I trust you, you're not an idiot, you're clever, I know that you know, you must know what you're doing. I feel like you want people to be like, I know that you are a trustworthy person, and I know that you wouldn't be doing this for nothing, so I trust you to get the job done. And I trust that even if I don't understand it completely, that, you know, you're my mate, you're my friend, you're my family, I'm gonna get behind you on this. I feel like, you know, maybe people wanting you to do other things and not really fully supporting your soul at the moment is maybe grinding on you, and is kind of maybe getting you down more than you realize. Regardless of whether it's getting you down or not, it would help if people kind of got on board with you and just said, you know, we support you no matter what, and You know, if you're passionate about it, if you're determined, if you're being responsible, then we can kind of love you for that and support you for that. That would help a lot. We've got the 7 of Cups here. It's funny because I am getting that maybe, you know, someone's talking in someone's ear who's close to you, creating illusions. You know, I'm getting the word spell work coming through, and all energy is I'm getting intentionally. Okay, so someone could be in the ear of someone you're close to, maybe sort of swerving their vision on you a little bit. You know, and all energy on this planet is spell work. Every move we make, it conjures something. So there's someone around, someone you're close to, who's saying, you know, why is he or she doing this? Why aren't they with you? Someone's bitching in someone's ear close to you. And it's not a family member. It's someone who isn't really invested in this 10 of Pentacles. Someone who won't benefit from this 10 of Pentacles. But they're bitching in the ear of someone who will be part of this family success. And it's kind of pulling their support away from you because they're in their ear, you know, gossip, you know, that it sounds like regular old chit chat, doesn't it? But when you see what this leads to, all these little comments and little energetic, you know, put downs and snide comments, then you realize how malevolent this can be. And it's kind of watering down someone's support of you, someone who's close to you. So do be aware of that. Because this is someone that your close one considers, your loved one considers to be a friend. But I'm hearing fair weather friend, you know, just someone to chat to, someone bitchy, someone who's maybe very skilled at manipulating and planting seeds in the mind so that you're not getting the energetic support you really need right now. We will clarify these though. Knight of Swords here, you want to get something done quickly. And you want to cut through all the crap is what I'm getting here. And maybe you're picking up instinctively on this. I'm hearing illusion sower. Someone who sows illusion into people's minds. Whether they're known for being a you-know-what stirrer or not. Someone who stirs the pot. Whether they're known for that or not, you know, maybe they've got social positioning where no one really wants to call this person out on their behavior, or they get a pass because they're just, you know, part of the furniture. They are causing trouble here, and they're causing a rift in your group solidarity and pulling someone's consciousness in the wrong direction. 3 of Pentacles energy. People will see that what you've done is worthwhile and that what you've done is honorable and that what you've done has value. And they will see it sooner rather than later. But, you know, I feel like you're the sort of person that if someone doesn't support you while you're doing the hard work, see Emperor energy, King of Wands, if someone doesn't support you while you're doing the hard work, I feel like maybe, you know, it will grate on you in the future when all of your roses start to bloom and when your garden is filled with treasure. And, you know, when the potatoes come out the ground, maybe you're going to be like, hang on a minute. You didn't believe me that there was a potato growing under that soil when I told you over and over again, I'm doing something important. Maybe it'll annoy you in the future when you are abundant or more abundant, because like I say, you're already quite established here. But when you're really rolling in your success, I feel like it will annoy you. The people that didn't fully support you, they will get on your nerves in the future. So you want their support now. 3 of Pentacles with the Emperor card. You know who you are. And you want other people to trust that you do have the authority and you do have the skill and what you're doing is very worthwhile. Before everything starts to sprout, you want people to understand, I've planted this seed, now let me nurture this soil and let me get it done and let me really, you know, grow something worthwhile here for goodness sake. We've got the King of Wands here, always ahead of the game, you know, picking up on intuitive things and picking up on things that other people can't see. And getting it done before anyone else gets it done. A great innovator. Someone with a wonderful mind that's always ahead of the game. That's what I'm feeling here. And again, 8 of Wands energy here. So you're moving quickly. It's almost like someone is planting seeds in your life somehow to try and slow down your momentum. Maybe they're with someone who's not that wealthy. Maybe they're a settler. Maybe they're a giver-upper. Maybe they don't have any dreams. But they're either influencing someone close to you or, you know, spreading bad energies into your ecosystem somehow. And I do feel like it's a friend of someone you're close to. That's the instinct I'm getting. Family, friends, frenemy, something like that. Because look, 8 of Wands, you're about to fly forward. So it's almost like, you know, say for example, you're married and your partner's got a friend who's like, well, why isn't he at home at the moment? Or why isn't she at home at the moment? Those little comments really build up on someone's psyche over time. And then they treat you differently when you get home because of that one friend who's not part of your tribe, not really. They're not invested in your success. And if anything, it sounds to me like they're quite competitive. You know, most people, when they don't understand universal law and they don't understand the way tribe really works in a 10 of Pentacles kind of way, and they live in the matrix, often they're just competitive and often they're just bitchy. And I feel like that's what's happening here. But, you know, you're flying forward. It would be better if everyone who's truly a member of your tribe and family were on board with this ahead of time, of the evidence truly showing up. Then you can know that you can trust your people. True trust, you know. 9 of Cups energy here. Wish fulfillment, you're getting it. You certainly are getting all of your wish fulfillment here. They want me to put that up here. When we can dream it and we can feel it and we can imagine it, we can manifest it. And that's what you've got here. You know, great mind on a genius level is what I'm getting. You know, Emperor energy, King of Wands. These are energies that really change the game of life potentially for everyone. And it's these people, these King of Wands type energies who do what you do that really do change the world. Everyone thinks they're crazy at first when they have a new idea or they're doing something no one else understands. But they soon want to reap the benefits when the job's done. And I feel like, you know, you really don't want any betrayal here. 10 of Swords. People ignoring the fact that you're investing in something beautiful. It's like, you don't have to understand me to be on my side. All right. We're either family, we're either squad goal material, we're either friends, we're either buddies, or we're not. And it can't be both ways, you know. So I don't know if you're the sort of person who would get a kick out of letting people go when the success does hit and being like, don't come crawling back to me when I show you and rub it in your face like a pie that I was right all along. It's almost like you feel like you're not being seen as who you truly are, but we've got clear evidence here. Emperor, you know, King of Wands, someone who pioneers things, someone who's genius level in their business. And of course, the rarer you are, the harder it is to get people to understand you. And I feel like that's what's going on here. Or perhaps, you know, someone's whispering in your partner's ear, trying to make them think you're up to something sneaky or naughty, when in fact you're working on your empire. So it's like, whose side do you want? Pick a side now. You know, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting, because there is the energy of betrayal here. You don't want to feel betrayed by someone who doesn't trust you. Let's clarify. 2 of Wands energy. There's that 10 of Cups. To match the 10 of Pentacles, you've got a vision and you're knuckling down and you're doing that vision and no one can stop you. That's why you came to this earth. That's the power you have. You're connected to every facet of the universe and you've really got an instinct about this and it feels good to you and you're willing to put in the hard work and you're willing to follow those impulses. Yeah, the Chariot. See, the 8 of Swords is a card of being stuck in your head, overthinking details, a small dimensional mindset. But here with the Chariot, this is the mastery of the mind. This is taking an idea forward and it's a big, huge, monumental, cinematic mindset. So, you know, maybe someone tried to talk to you about, oh, don't you think you ought to be practical? Don't you think you ought to be responsible? And get you into that lower 3D mindset. And you're like, no, I'm a boss. I'm an emperor. And, you know, if that hasn't happened already and you haven't gone forward with this mission, I feel like you have and you're working on it all the time. But I see great movement, but you just don't want other people's small minds contaminating your great idea, because the Chariot is about greatness and victory. So I see you moving forward with this great momentum, singularly if you need to. But, you know, the more support you get from the ones who claim to be close to you, the better at this point, okay? Because this is divine work. When someone hits on something that is, you know, monumental and beautiful, and they go forward with that idea, it's divine work, whether it looks like spiritual or not. It's the point is everything's spiritual, and your higher self needs this to be fulfilled. You're doing the work of your higher self. You're doing God's work by raising your mind up to such a beautiful level and moving forward in such a brave and beautiful, achievement-minded kind of way. That is divine in and of itself. Show me this Knight of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles. Yeah, you've been in scenarios where you know what it's like when you haven't got enough. And that's motivation enough for you. Okay, similarly, someone could feel left out in the cold. And I feel like most of this is bitchy friends putting it in their head because they've got nothing better to talk about. You know, swerving someone's mind, you know, kind of putting their energy, you know, energy is contagious. So if you're with someone and their friends are bitchy, then they're gonna get contaminated with that energy. But, Ten of Pentacles again on the Four of Cups. We cannot do two things at once. We've got one head, one set of arms, one body, and the Ten of Pentacles is coming out twice here. So you've got this vision and you need to fulfill it, and you will fulfill it. But I feel like right now maybe you're thinking, whose side is this person on? Maybe it's a partner, maybe it's a close friend, something like that, a family member. You're thinking, whose side are they on? You're either more tribally close to me or you're more tribally close to that bitch. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting here. And there's so much jealousy around, and some people aren't even consciously aware of it because they're just going through the motions of life and they think it's normal to bitch. They don't understand they're messing with one of God's finest. And the universe will, you know, give this person what they're conjuring up. If they keep on bitching in your loved one's ear, the universe will cook them up something, because this is divine work. This is something that will affect the whole world in a beautiful way. Whether or not that's your intention or not is not the point. When you hit the sovereignty level of the Ten of Pentacles, your abundance affects everything for the better. So just having one ambitious mind in a city can change the whole city, you know, and that one city then can change other cities. It's like this knock-on effect, and you're doing beautiful work. Page of Swords. Yeah, someone's bitchy. Someone's bitching about your success, sending horrible energy into people you're close to, and they want to cut off your success. Whether they're consciously aware of it or not is not the point. They could be a narcissist. And sometimes people stay friends with narcissists their whole life, not realizing that they are bitter and they're always monitoring everyone else's lives, and they're always sowing little annoying seeds of jealousy and crap. So do be aware of that. You will succeed no matter what, but I feel like you want to be able to trust the people around you who claim to be on your side, you know, and maybe you have a more ancient mindset. Maybe you have, you know, a more honorable, ancient kind of respectful mindset, where maybe people nowadays annoy you and it's because they're not aligned with universal law in a pure way like you are. So they are going to annoy you. Yeah, I'm hearing jest. Someone could be joking about you being up to things when really you're working, you know, saying stuff in jest or trying to make it seem humorous when actually it's actually having an effect on the mind of the person they're saying it to. Someone you're close to. I think that's naughty. The Empress. Eight of Pentacles. See, I was almost going to put that back in because I thought I had two cards at the same time then, which is so funny, because when you're dealing with your partner, you don't want to also be hearing what their so-called friends are saying through their mind, you know, like a haggle of witches and they all influence each other. That's kind of the energy I'm getting here. And maybe, you know, your partner's really sweet, or this could be a friend, but you want it to be Emperor and Empress. Boss and boss, or you want to give the people you love a beautiful life, and you can't do that if they're puppeteerable by others. So they need to choose whose side they're on. You know, everything you do for the people you love, and I feel like this is one of your greatest motivations. So it would really help you if they were on board, although you will follow your higher self all the way to this loot. Why do we want to earn our loot? To have fun with the people we love. So Spirit's coming through loud and clear here. You know, the person you're with, or this person they're referring to in this Empress energy, the person who has got a friend who's not trustworthy or bitchy or malevolent, they need to wake up and smell the coffee. They need to understand that most people are bitter and miserable and jealous. Most people live in fear and greed, and, you know, they're around someone malevolent who wants to mess up your empire. This is a goddamn empire is what I'm getting through here. This is no joke. You know, you don't want to live a mediocre matrix existence. You're a creator of reality, not a follower. You're not going to live in the world someone else created. You're creating your own world, and it's very important work. And if you don't complete it in this life, you will do it in the next life. However, this is the life for you to complete this. And I don't feel like you want anything to change in your relationship status or in your friendship group or tribally. You want everyone to be as loyal as you are, and that's it. Knight of Cups here. So love is something that moves you and moves your imagination. Maybe you're not that good at verbalizing it, but, you know, that is what is motivating you here. Love, a great vision, doing everything you can for the people you love. And maybe you are maybe a life path 8 or something like that. Or you've got attributes to your soul astrologically where you show your love with that loot. You know, maybe you're not good with romantic gestures and saying the right thing at the right time. And maybe you're very energetically attuned and you expect people to be able to feel how you feel. Maybe you're not so good at verbalizing it, but I feel like you're someone who shows your love through action, and you want someone close to you to understand that. You're putting in all this hard work so you can live the Loot Lounge lifestyle, and maybe you want every day to feel like a holiday. Maybe you just want to feel good and you want everyone else to feel good. I feel like those are your main motivations here. 7 of Cups again next to the 7 of Cups. So there's definitely confusion regarding your mission, but it's not coming from you. You know, someone's trying to sow confusion into your hard work and make someone close to you feel like you're not doing what you say you're doing, but you are doing what you say you're doing. 10 of Pentacles twice, Emperor energy. Not everyone's a cheater. Not everyone's, you know, insecure and has to have little dopamine hits off of their phone pinging every 5 minutes. You're certainly too high-minded for that, far too intelligent, and you go far too deep. I'm hearing someone might have accused you of being a Sigma male or something like that, or female, whatever. But not everyone's small-minded, living in their little matrix bubble, you know, on Tinder or whatever the case may be. And you're certainly far too dedicated to a higher vision to be doing that. So the Hermit with the 7 of Cups, you have to be in a certain modality of intelligence to complete this kind of 10 of Pentacles level work, and that's what you're doing. And you don't want to take 10 years doing it. You want to get that momentum built up and do it while you're young, or do it while, you know, there's time to enjoy the fruits of it. Okay, Hermit energy. Anytime you spend working, I feel like you're alone or you're with people who are just working. All right, and that's all it is. Page of Cups here. Let me clarify that one again. Maybe you've noticed something bad about a friend of your partner, or that, you know, that bitchy one. I feel like you've noticed their behavior before. You've noticed they've got a negative influence. Look, on this card, we've got a big old giant golem thing. And then we've got a little figure down here. And of course, this one could easily influence this one. And I feel like that's what's happening. Someone who's irrelevant to your 10 of Pentacles, and someone who probably won't last very long as a friend to this loved one of yours, is having undue influence on them. You know, and I do feel the energy of bitch. Not from your person, but maybe they're sweet-natured, and maybe, you know, they want to be involved in friendship groups and stuff, but tribe's more important. You know, your long-term family is more important. Show me one more, please. 8 of Wands. Yeah, with your person's full support, whoever this is, with the full support of those close to you, you will fly ahead much more quickly. But I feel like something's been nagging at you, pulling you to the side. It's, you know, feels like to you like irrelevant. You know, 4 of Cups, maybe you've even considered perhaps ending something, because we do have the 4 of Cups twice. Maybe you've considered ending something to get this dream fulfilled because you don't like not being trusted, or you don't like not being fully supported. Maybe you are psychic and someone doesn't believe you. But regardless, your ideas and your life is your life. You know, everything here is divine. If someone doesn't know that or understand that, I feel like maybe you're getting sick of being misunderstood. So maybe you're turning away a little bit more. And then the spell work person who's doing the bitching is acting like this is evidence, and it's getting exacerbated. They're feeding the flames, you know. You're going to win regardless, is what I'm getting here. You're a winner. And it's inevitable, but it'd be nice if people supported you while you were in the process of getting to your win. Queen of Wands with the 3 of Pentacles, okay. Focused, fiery. See, that again, we've got matching cards here. Empress, Emperor, King of Wands, Queen of Wands. You want someone to be what they say they are. You want them to actually act as if they are your number one supporter. Not just be there when all the money comes in, not just be there when it looks like you've won, but to actually get behind you when it matters, when you're on the way to your victory. You want someone to be a bit more ride or die. Like, you don't want someone who's more into their friends than into you. That's what it feels like to me. Show me the Emperor. 8 of Cups. You know, 8 of Cups, the 9 of Cups. There could be this part of you that wants to walk away from something, to achieve something. And, you know, obviously, your instincts will tell you what to do. You know, if you talk to this person and you say, you know, you supporting me or you supporting this bitch over here, maybe you will end up walking away from them. I can kind of see that that's a possibility, because you know, with your temperament and your nature, that you can find someone who is truly supportive of you. Soul group energy. So maybe you're not sure if someone is your soul group or not. Or maybe you just want them to act like it. But I do see this energy of you having the potential to walk away and meet someone who's on your frequency. If this person or friend or whatever isn't as loyal as you are, then that means they couldn't possibly be your soul group. And anyone with a heart chakra activated, anyone with a heart has got soul group. People you've incarnated with before, people whose souls will always find yours. So I feel like maybe the person you're dealing with is soul group, maybe they're not. But if they're loyal, they are. If they're being more loyal to someone else, maybe you need to have a word with them. However, you are more than capable of meeting your equal, because these matching cards on the table tell me that you're either already with that person or you will meet that person. Show me the Empress one more time. 9 of Pentacles. Maybe you feel like your person is acting single and they need to make a choice. You know, if they make the choice to not fully support you, then they were never yours to begin with. You understand? They've got a contract to be with someone. It's either you or it's someone else. Same for you. This could be a doppelganger. Someone who's got a lot of energetic characteristics in common with, you know, your soulmate, but isn't your soulmate. Or it could be your soulmate. But with the 9 of Pentacles being a single card, you know, you'll find out pretty quickly if this person is truly on your side or not. One more. They want one more for that. One at a time. 2. They want 2. So King of Swords, 3 of Swords. I feel like this person's already hurt you a little bit. And Spirit is saying, you know, if they're hanging around with narcissists, there has to be something frequency-wise that matches their soul to that person they're hanging around with. So maybe you're going to have one final conversation and decide to cut your losses if this person turns out not to be your true soulmate or your true soul group member. This could even be a best friend, something like that, someone you felt really close to in the past. 7 of Pentacles, investing in all the right ways. This is a real nice juicy garden you're cooking up here. And the Magician, yeah, Magician energy with the King of Wands. So what I'm getting here is a relationship is distracting you from this empire building that you're doing. Now, one conversation, I feel like if you know, you let this person know that you want their full support, I feel like you're going to test the waters and see, is this person really a soul group member? Are they someone I should really be in a true close bond with? Or are they just a doppelganger? Are they just so similar to my future spouse that I've been a bit tricked by this? Because we do have the 3 of Swords, 9 of Pentacles, King of Swords. It could be that, you know, being single would be easier for you right now if you are in a relationship, but only you can decide that. We've got the King of Wands with the Magician energy. You're cooking up a storm. You're cooking up something really beautiful here. And, you know, moving towards abundance and being in the position to be very generous with your heart and your time and your money and your loot. But right now you're knuckling down. This is interesting. This is like Spirit saying you need to have a conversation with this person. You need to figure out whose side they're really on. Because they could be the one for you. Or it could be that it's someone else. Yeah, messy energy here. This key almost stopped the box from shutting. Okay, so you've got the key to the castle. You're doing really well here. We've got a kitty with a heart, an owl here, peace symbol. We've got the dragonfly here. So you're bringing wisdom in from so many different lives and pulling it all together. And you've got these beautiful instincts. and you're bang on the money is what I'm getting. You are right on the money. You're doing really well. But this octopus energy tells me that someone is making things messier than they need to be. So you need to have a word with them. Because if they are truly for you, or truly meant to be your friend, or meant to be close to you, they'll understand. You know, maybe their behavior is hurting your heart a little bit more than you've been willing to acknowledge or face up to. Because I see your feelings just going detached here with the King of Swords. I see something hurting you. Maybe a partner acting like they're single when it comes to how they behave around their friends, in terms of the way they talk about you, or something like that that you're intuiting that doesn't sit well with you. You're more than capable of walking away and meeting the real thing if they're not the real thing. But I'm going to leave this reading in your hands and say, you know, they're either the real thing or they're someone who's very similar to the real thing. And you will be meeting the real thing very soon, either in this person you're already with or in somebody else. But a good conversation will help you decide. You've got all the wisdom here with the owl energy. And, you know, maybe someone does just need you to open up to them and show your feelings a little bit more with this little kitty. They're saying, you know, this person could definitely be the one for you, but they need to put their energy in your basket instead of in their friend's basket, if that makes sense. However, take what resonates, leave the rest. Of course, multiple people could resonate with this reading, so I'm not breaking anyone up or anything like that, but it will be different for, you know, whoever resonates in whatever way. So I love you. I hope this reading's made sense. Well done on your empire. You've got the key to epic creation, epic manifestation, and you're flying towards your goals really quickly. Your momentum is gaining strength every day, so enjoy those wishes when they become fulfilled. Lots of love.